So Chris, let's do some bonus clip content, shall we?
Yep.
The first thing I'd like to talk about is this, which is the FC Hockey Winter Draft rankings. So there's only one primary reason I want to talk about these rankings, but we'll go through some of the most important guys up there. So FC Hockey is obviously a prospect and draft analyst group, and they've got their winter rankings. Obviously, it's far too early to tell who's going to be the best player out of this draft class yet, whether that be running up to the draft or once the draft actually takes place and in the year or two afterwards. But at the moment, it currently has Luke Hughes, the defenseman for the United States National Team Development Program, obviously brother of Jack and Quinn Hughes, who are both currently playing in the NHL and doing a pretty good job for themselves. They've got him ranked at number 1, with, interestingly, a goalie ranked at number 2, Jesper Wallstedt of Luleå of the SHL, 6'3" goaltender. Then Owen Power, the defenseman for the University of Michigan, in 3rd place. Simon Edvinsson of Frölunda. Then William Eklund of Djurgården. Brant Clark, who is currently playing for a Slovakian team, actually. Then Matthew Berniers of the University of Michigan. Kent Johnson, University of Michigan. So there's going to be a lot of Michigan players that could be taken in the top 10 this year. Dylan Genther of the Edmonton Oil Kings. And Fabian Lysell of Luleå. So that's kind of the top 10 as this rank goes. I'll give you a few more just to keep you up to date. We've got Atu Ratti, who's also been a guy that's been considered one of the top players of the draft, perhaps playing for Karpat of the Finnish Liga. Mason McTavish of the Peterborough Petes of the OHL. Zachary Bolduc of Rimouski of the QMJHL. Zachary Leheureux, I don't know, of the Halifax Mooseheads. It's the QMJHL, they're French names. I'm doing the best I can. Then Shaz Lucier of the United States National Team Development Program. Carson Lambos of JYP, who aren't playing very well in the Liga, but, you know, if they're a team that's not playing very well, a young guy like him might get some more ice time and it could help his draft stock. Then Corson Kuhlmans of the Brook Bandits of the AGHL. Brennan Othman of ECH Alton of the SL. Then we've got Cole Sillinger of the Medicine Hat Tigers. Nikita Chibrikov, I believe, that's of SK St. Petersburg. And that's kind of the top 20 at the moment. But the reason
that's the top 20, yeah.
Yeah, the reason I wanted to bring this group up is because we've actually got a guy from the UK that is not necessarily on the rankings. His current rank is NA. However, he's actually in the conversation, and that is Alex Graham. Of the Sheffield organisation, I believe. I'll bring up his profile so we can have a quick look at him. So yeah, let's bring it up and see where he's at. So yes, he is born January 2003. His draft result is pending, obviously. Doesn't have any reports, but he played with the Sheffield Steelers for an 8-game stint during the 2019-20 season, had a point in that game, a goal, and was a +1 in those 8 games, so not the worst performance for him. But there's been some talk as to whether Alex Graham could be the next Liam Kirk or even better than Liam Kirk. Obviously, that I would imagine part of that is depending on whether he gets drafted in the first place, whether he goes in the 7th round, whether he goes slightly higher. I think given the current situation and the fact that he hasn't played much hockey this year is going to make it really difficult for him to have the opportunity to kind of prove himself. But that said, it's nice to see a UK/GB born player who has done really well with the UK, like under 18, under 20 teams, get a chance to, you know, potentially, if he plays well, because I believe he's playing in some of these, is he playing for the Steel Dogs in the streaming series? I believe he is, isn't he?
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure he is. I've seen him briefly when Sheffield have played the Lions.
Yeah.
From a Lions point of view, I don't like him because he's too quick and he's just too, I mean, you can see from the start, 52 points in 38 games. I mean, it is one of these players, and the Lions have got a few of them as well, but you get them a fair bit where there are these players that just, in juniors, it's just ridiculous. I mean, look at when he was at under 18 with the Steelhawks, 92 points in 18 games.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, you know, when you're scoring 6 points a game, you know, and it is, yeah, I mean, you best have looked to him. And as you said, I think it is going to be difficult because he's not had the ice time really this year. But, you know, we'll keep an eye on it and see kind of how it develops over the second half of the year. Obviously, now he is getting some time, but you see Liam Kirk has come back and is playing in this series as well, and he's just doing Liam Kirk things, really.
Surprise,
4 goals
surprise.
in the first game, and something like 6 points in the first 2 games, something ridiculous like that. Which I kind of thought he would do after his time over in Canada.
Oh,
but,
absolutely.
Yeah. So I mean, the thing taking it back to the draft rankings.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about these, so go for it.
Yeah, interesting to see so many Swedes. There's 4 Swedes in the top 10 and a netminder up at number 2 as well. So, potentially we've got a kind of Henrik Lundqvist on our hands here of the future, kind of, really high ranking netminder. Obviously it helps with Lelea doing okay in the SHL as well, for Lunda doing well in the SHL. Finnish guy in 11th. Got Russian in Chibrikov in 20th. Robertson for Sweden 24th, Sweden 26th, Sweden 30th, Russians in 36th and 37th, then Finn in 38th, more Russians 39 40. So plenty of Europeans in there. So we've got, a good looking draft class. We'll see obviously closer to the time. And I think when we get closer to the NHL draft, we'll look at some of the European prospects in more detail.
Oh, absolutely. I think the difference between somebody like a Jesper Wallstedt and a Henrik Lundqvist, for example, is Wallstedt is looking like he could be a top 10 pick, whereas Henrik Lundqvist was drafted in the 7th round and had to really work his way up. So hopefully, I mean, it's very rare that we see a goaltender taken in the top 5 of the draft. Like, I'm trying to struggle. The last one I can think of the top of my head is Marc-Andre Fleury that was taken like 15 years ago. I think
it was the first one. I'll just have a look at...
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I'll just have a look at it. But I think it was Fleury.
Yeah, because it's been such a long time since we've had a goaltender go in the top 5, let alone first overall. Because Askarov went in the top 10.
Fleury went first overall in 2003.
Yep.
Rick DiPetrio went first in 2000.
Yep.
And then Michel Placé went first in 1968, and that was it.
I see. When was the last goalie taken in like the top 5? Can you pick that up?
I don't know, because I'll have to go through every single draft.
Fair. Okay, fair enough. But yeah, that's something maybe we could look up, or somebody in the comments can let us know on the comment of this video and kind of keep us up to date. But yeah, so that's a quick look at some of the draft rankings that are coming out recently and some of the Europeans there. By the looks of it, it's going to be, I was going to say it's going to be a North America dominated top 5, top 10, but there's a couple of Swedish players and a Finnish player that could jump up there. I think kind of middle to late first round is going to be very much North America dominated, but towards the top third of the draft, the top 5, top 10 or so, we could have a few different guys from Sweden especially kind of jump up there and maybe get themselves drafted quite high up. So we'll keep an eye as things go along and keep you updated as the new rankings come in throughout the season.